afraid there's a door and you're going to run into it.
Thank you. I've got this cane. That's what it's there for. Thank you, though.
But you need help. You can't see.
Yeah, I've went to a door before. Thanks, though.
Oh, you're blind. Let me help you.
Isn't it crazy, some of the things that sighted people say? Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, whatever it is, time when you watch this video. From RNC Adventures, we hope you're having a great day. I'm Ricky.
And I'm Christy.
And today we're going to talk about the crazy things that we've had said to us or other people we know regarding blind and visually impaired people. And so we're going to go through some of these. This is going to be volume 1. And we'll create a few others as we go along. What you can do is, if you have a story to tell us, you can put a comment down below telling that story, letting us know some of the crazy things you've heard if you're a visually impaired person.
And we'd be happy to share it.
Absolutely. The two things that we want to make sure we say here. Number one, this actually started off, this is, it's about 7 years in the making. It was an idea that I had with my sister-in-law, Jessie, starting a Twitter account to kind of post some crazy things that sighted people have said or done. And so, Jessie, this is for you. And the second thing to say is, this is not meant to make fun of or to
offend anybody at all.
Exactly. We're just having fun with it. It's things that have been said that we find funny. It's just a way to kind of brush off some of the misperceptions or silliness that goes on in our life. And with that, I guess we'll get started, so stay tuned. All right, so our first story, Christy, help me with this one if I input at any time. Our first story starts at a local community college that Christy and I were attending called the Nashville State Community College. And we were in the lunchroom and we were just relaxing, just Christy and I having lunch, talking. And all of a sudden, Christy notices out of the corner of her eye that, which is about everything you notice, right? Noticed out of the corner of her eye that there was a person standing at the other side of the table across from us, just standing there. And Christy kind of goes, there's a guy standing over there. And so I look that direction. Can we help you? And he just collapses into the chair. Oh, like so excited that we acknowledged him and like he had been there for a while. And so he says, okay, I've just got to ask y'all this question. Okay, go ahead. Well, have you guys seen the movie Daredevil?
And at this point, I start shaking my head and just smiling and...
No, you were laughing. You were already started
to
chuckling.
giggle a little.
And so Christy goes, oh boy. And I'm like, yeah, we've seen the movie. He goes, okay, so I've got to ask you. I just got to ask you. Do you guys have superpowers like him?
I won't tell anybody.
I won't tell anybody, it's cool. But do you have them? And we just started busting out laughing. Because at this point, what can you do? What can you say? And I was laughing pretty hard. And I said, no, that's not how it works. And I said, we have we use our senses, and we use the senses we have because we've sort of adapted those senses. So we don't have super hearing. We have kind of honed that skill because that's the skill we rely on. And Christy explained that, when you can't see, you have to use your other senses. And
we're more in tune to those senses than, the sight, because we don't use the sight.
Right. And so this is what the kid does. This is what I think is the most hilarious part of it. Is, again, I couldn't see him, and Christy I don't think could really see him, but you could tell by his voice, he was all excited and keyed up asking us. And he goes, "Okay, thanks anyway. Sorry I bothered you." And he got up from the table just absolutely defeated, so disappointed. And I told Christy, I said, we just broke that kid's heart. Like, he totally thought he had two people with superhero powers, and he was going to find out the Skippy on it, and we crushed that quickly. So that's the first crazy thing. In no particular order, by the way, this list is. So, Christy, you had a story about
ours was, we had left the house going somewhere. Ricky, one of our favorite things to say when we leave the house is, "I forgot I'm blind." It was a day Ricky left the house, didn't have his cane. We'd gotten halfway down the road, and he's like, "Oh, I forgot I'm blind." So we were doing sighted guide that day, so he was walking with me.
Is it really sighted guide though at that point?
He was walking with me, partially sighted guide. I don't know what you want to call it. Blind-sighted guide. Whatever it is.
Blind guide.
Either way, we travel that way quite a bit, though.
Yeah, we do.
So we like to walk together, and the easiest way to do it is one of us using the cane and one of us
holding the cane.
So, but that particular day, he had completely forgotten his cane. And we got on the bus, and we're heading somewhere, and I have no clue
Don't worry about
where it was anyways. And so I had the cane in my lap, and it was one of those in-between days where I was able, while we were on the bus, to flip the sunglasses up and not have them on. And somebody across from us just happened to say something about, "So why are you carrying his cane for him?" And I was like, "Are you talking to me?" And they were like, "Yeah. Does he need you to carry his cane for him?" And I'm like, "No, this is my cane." He's like, "Oh, you don't look blind." "Well, I'm sorry that I don't meet your standards of blind, but I am, yes sir, blind as well." "Well, then where's his cane?" I was like, "Well, today we're both sharing this one."
So apparently I looked blind, doesn't have a cane, didn't have sunglasses, but I looked blind, and you with sunglasses and a cane getting on the bus didn't look blind.
Right. So, which happens a lot to me. I've had people in the store argue with me with my cane, say, "You're not blind." I'm like, "Okay, that's great that you want to say that, but
reality is,
you want to look through these eyes and tell me that?"
All right.
So the next one.
Let me. All right. So when I was a kid, so there were some times that if I missed the bus or what have you. Let me give you a little bit of background. My mom and my dad both were totally blind, and very independent people. We went around town, did the things we needed to do, and I kind of helped them out since I had fairly decent sight. And so in our little town that we grew up in East Tennessee, that I grew up in, we didn't have a bus system. Either you walked to where you were going, you took a cab, or you drove, or what have you. So for us, it was usually a cab. And so I came to school one day because I missed the bus, getting up all drowsy and couldn't get going, missed the bus. And so Mom had me go in a cab because by that point we had known small town cab company. We knew all the cab drivers by name and most of their family history, or a lot about them. So anyway, I went to school, got out of school, went into class, and one of the kids come up to me and said, "Well, man, you're riding around in a cab. You must be poor." I'm like, poor? What the heck does that mean? He goes, "Well, if you're riding in a cab, you can't afford a car or whatever." And I'm like, dude, think about that for a minute. A cab, the amount of money that my parents, pay for a cab in 1 month is enough for a car note, gas, insurance, and probably more. I said, it's because, my parents are blind and I'm blind. And which led to another question. Well, wait a minute. If your mom and dad are both blind, how did they have you? Which I was in 5th grade, I believe, this time. Maybe middle school. I don't remember exactly. But old enough for most people to know at least how that process worked. And I got that question later on in high school too. And my reaction, of course, is, well, think about that for a second, because you don't need lights on, or you don't need to see to create a baby. And so it was just really funny that they thought I was poor because I was riding in a cab, when obviously it was totally different. All right, so I think they're blind.
So we get this quite a bit. The one that comes to mind at the moment is we were at a conference, and it was really surprising because there was actually quite a few people with disabilities at this conference. And we were walking with our kids through the courtyard area, and this couple sitting at a table, as we were walking by, they were like, "I think they're blind." And as we walked by, I'm like, "Yeah, but we're not deaf." As we kept going.
And they didn't do it quietly. She leaned in, I guess, so that she could be heard to her friend, but said it very loud, and it was right as we walked by, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's something we always get, is people around us always thinking that that we're blind, and that they need to tell us in case we didn't know, or they just whisper it to their friend, and not so softly or something like that. Or, well, I remember one time we walked by some people, and the man said, "Bless their heart, they're blind," and he wasn't trying to cover it up or anything like that. My mom used to get that as well when I was growing up. I remember my mom one time turned around to someone and said, "Bless their heart, they're blind," and she turned around and goes, "Don't bless my heart, bless my eyes, but don't bless my heart. My heart has nothing to do with it." So, yeah, we get that a lot. You're right. All right. So, as we said in our introduction, Christy and I have guide dogs. And stay tuned. You're going to get a video regarding our guide dogs, meeting them, and more things about guide dogs. But, so our guide dogs, are both black, and matter of fact, I've had two, and both of my guide dogs were black Labradors. And so I have been walking. I believe this particular story takes place in the airport, and I've had this happen tons of times, unfortunately. But we're walking in the airport, and I pass by someone, and the guy says, "Look, that's one of them blind dogs." And I just stop. I go, "Oh my God, they gave me a blind dog? I sure hope the dog's not blind, or else I'm in a lot of trouble." Of course, I think I used a few other select words. And the guy's friend or buddy that was with him slapped him and goes, "You idiot, he heard you. And it's not a blind dog, it's a guide dog." So not only did I point out his idiocracy, his friend did too. So, but we get that all the time. That's one of them blind dogs. Or "Don't touch that dog," parent talking to their kid. "That's one of those blind dogs." And so there is one of the opportunities I use to educate and say, "Ma'am, it's not a blind dog. Otherwise, it would do me no good to have a blind dog." And educate. But sometimes I point out the idiocracy of people and their statements, which I think is funny. All right, let's see. You had one.
Yeah, we were, when I went to go get my guide dog.
Oh, yeah.
This is the one I have. Like you said, we have two. They're black labs. This is my first one. We were doing the final day of training, and we were getting ready to cross the street, and there was somebody that was coming across, and he goes, "Oh, are y'all training?" "Oh, no. Okay. That's a real live blind person." And I had to double take and like, "What? Really?" I had that question a couple of times with traveling is, "Are you guys training?" I was like, "Training for what?"
Training to be blind?
This is my guide dog. What are we training for? We're going places. We're traveling. No.
Which is really funny, because some of the times that we get that is when we are in places where there is like nowhere around is there a guide dog school. It's not like it's common day thing for people in that particular area to see a blind person with a guide dog necessarily, or at least to see somebody training.
Yeah,
now,
I mean, normally you would see more than one.
Right. I mean, if in your case where you were around your guide dog school, that might be more common thing.
Yeah.
But of course, saying,
but that was a very
real life blind person.
Real life
You're a real life. May I have your autograph? You're a real life blind, as opposed to what? All right. The next one is probably one of the most funniest things that I've ever had happen to me as a blind and visually impaired person. And I tell this joke, or this story. Unfortunately, it is a story. It's true, a real life story. And but I tell this all the time, and just people laugh as much as they possibly can. So, my mom used to live next to a Wendy's, and I would go into. I went to Wendy's one day with my guide dog, and I could hear and notice that the line, they had the zigzag ordering line thing up, and I could tell that it was full. There's a lot of people in there, so I kind of waited to the side for it to clear up, because most of the employees in there knew me. Apparently, I ran into somebody who didn't know me. But so they would tell me, "It's okay, you can come up to the counter." So I'm waiting in line, and this guy, I hear him over at the trash bins wiping down the trays and stacking them on the thing, checking the trash bins, etc. he walks over to me and says, excuse me, sir. You can't have dogs in here. And I said, oh, no problem. He's a service animal. He's a guide dog. I can have him here in the building. He can go anywhere the general public can. At that point in time, it was an educational moment. Nothing really had come out of the ordinary. It's just something we deal with. And then he said, "Are you sure?" I said, "Yeah. I do this all the time. I've been in here before. I go anywhere with the dog. The dog can go anywhere I can. It's a guide dog. I'm blind, and he helps me." Oh, okay. And so he leaves and apparently goes back behind the counter. So the lady says, "You can step up to the counter and make your order." So I go up and make my order. About this time, this gentleman and a lady who I knew was the manager comes from the back, and she says, "Tyrone, you are so stupid. That man is blind. He's been in here all the time. That is a guide dog. That is not a regular dog, and that dog can come in here with him, no problem. Tyrone, you are so stupid. I can't believe you would try and make a big deal out of that. Surely you've seen Tyrone a guide dog." I mean, she's just going off on this guy in front of everybody, which I didn't necessarily approve of. She said, "Tyrone, you need to think before you speak. You're going to offend somebody." And so I said, "Yeah, Tyrone, you need to, you might offend somebody," just to kind of play it off, as a joke. And so he says, "Excuse me, sir. If you are blind, how did you read my name tag to know my name?" To where the manager lady literally hits him on the shoulder. I mean, you heard it. It was a nice slap. "Tyrone, I have been yelling your name. The man is blind, not deaf." And so, that was so funny. And I was just laughing the entire time. People in the lobby was laughing. It was hilarious. And unfortunately, the sad part of the story is that about a week later, I went back into the store and was in there, and the manager came up and said, "I apologize about that guy and telling you couldn't bring your dog in here." I said, "Oh, it wasn't no problem whatsoever. I deal with that every single day. It's not a big deal. It's a great time to educate." I said, "Where is Tyrone? I wouldn't mind saying hi to him just to be nice." She goes, he quit. He's not working here anymore." So I don't know what happened with Tyrone, but Tyrone about a week later wasn't working at Wendy's anymore. So, all right. So that is our stories, or at least some of our stories. We thought we'd edge into this slowly, and this is volume 1. For our friends that are blind and visually impaired, we know whether it's with a guide dog or whether it's with your cane, or maybe it's not with any cane. Maybe you don't use a device, but you get stories like this all the time, and we would love to hear them. So please leave a comment down below with your story. Feel free to email us at RNC. What?
RN.
Oh,
Nancy.
I get it wrong every time.
RNC Adventures 1 at gmail.com.
That's right. RNC Adventures 1 at gmail.com. And send us that story in email. We'd love to share it. We have several that we've got kind of sitting back from other people that we'd like to use. Also, please hit the subscribe button. We've got a lot of videos already out. You should go check out, and we've got many more videos coming. So, anything else?
I hope you enjoy it.
Yeah, hit the like button if you enjoyed it, and we will see you next time. Remember, as always,
keep living life to its fullest.
Take care.
Hi everybody, make sure to hit the subscribe button and watch all of Mom and Dad's videos.